Hey guys, Smokey here with a new video. Like I said, I wanted to do TV shows, and so we're going to do the King of the Hill pilot. So yeah, King of the Hill is like one of my favorite shows. Me and my dad always watched it, and it was on TV, and relate to a lot of the things that are done in that show, especially with me kind of being not necessarily like I don't know, I was more kind of like the oddball of the family. When I was younger. I wasn't like chubby or anything like Bobby was, but relate to Bobby in a lot of ways. So yeah, they have the app right at the beginning of the episode with the boys in the back alley. Classic. The Ford joke because my dad has a Ford. That hurts totally. um, Hank not understanding and being uncomfortable with whatever is going to be the thing that he's uncomfortable with for the episode right off the bat. Kind of curious if they're going to do that with Hank or Bobby. See if maybe Hank's learned his lesson in the newer seasons when they do that, which makes me super excited because that comes out this year, or at least it's supposed to. Don't know if it still is or not. Um, let's see. Hank tell something Hank always tells Bobby is to always give it 110%, and trying to teach Bobby to not or to participate and not worry about getting hurt. Simple stuff. Because if you guys don't know, basically the whole point of this episode is Bobby goes to a baseball game and he doesn't want to be in it, or Hank don't want him in it. I can't remember which one it was. And he or softball, and he gets smacked in the face, and everybody's thinking Hank beat him, which we know Hank wouldn't do that. And we'll get into why that in a little bit. Um, Buckley has a cameo in it. In case you guys don't know, Buckley is a kind of like he's Luann's boyfriend for like I think the first couple of seasons. I don't remember when the Megalo Mart gets blown up, and he dies in the explosion, obviously. But Buckley's kind of like a I don't know a Dewey character. He's literally like lazy to the point of stupidity, lazy in my opinion. Um, Small town rumors about Bobby getting hit. I know how that is. I live in a small town. I grew up in a small town. Stuff can go pretty quickly, especially when my grandpa was mayor and people would be asking me 20 different things I didn't understand at the time of him being mayor. Dale being a giblet head, because that's one thing that Hank loves to call him. There's a giblet head, and Hank wanted to kick ass. I was literally within the first 10 minutes of the episode. Hank's anger being seen by the worker doesn't, like the social worker, doesn't help the case, which Hank does have an anger problem throughout the whole show, so it's very understandable. Peggy, of course, not being able to speak good Spanish, the stuff that they keep continuously building up and joking about throughout the show. It's crazy to see it all in the first episode. I think King of the Hill, so far out of the pilots I've watched, has had the best pilot. And there's only one pilot I think that could honestly top that until I go back and rewatch the Simpsons pilot. Um, Peggy talking about Hank's you know what issue. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. I'm not saying that on YouTube, but it has something to do with something being narrow. Um, Bobby having no idea what's going on and joking and impersonating Hank like a child. Like because he's got that childlike mind. The social worker believing Bobby and Joseph's impressions of Hank, which is, which I mean, the social worker, he just seems like he's just there for the money, and because he comes from L.A., you know how that is. Hank wants to give. Uh, oh, I missed one. Hank telling this social worker about Hank, telling him about his love for propane. Because Hank sells propane and propane accessories. Um, Sorry for the bad Hank impression. I've been trying to work on it all week just to get ready for this video. um, but yeah, and he just tells him how much he cares for Bobby. And even like at one point, when they're talking to Dale about it, Dale says he would never hurt him because he is his pride and joy, which is 100% true. You see that time and time again throughout the episode that Hank does love his boy, even if he doesn't say it. Bobby pushing Hank's buttons just because he knows he can, and then Bobby also abusing the power of the Twig Boy. And the only reason I said that is because when I wrote that note down, that's what they were calling him. But yeah, the social worker, they tell Bobby he doesn't have to worry about it anymore because the social worker's getting sent back to LA. And Bobby just keeps abusing it because apparently he did it because he didn't think Hank loved him because he's never heard his dad say it. Which Hank's generation, because I asked my dad this because he grew up with parents that would be the children of somebody from World War II. His dad, like they've said, his parents have said it to him, but like on very rare occasions. So I just wonder if that's a generational thing. And which, if it is, and they put it into the show, props on them for putting amazing detail into the show. Um, But yeah, Bobby doesn't think Hank loves him, even though he's his pride and joy. Hank's struggling to tell his son, "I love you," because of how he was raised, like I just said. But then he goes on to tell him how much he actually means to him, which is, in my opinion, is better than him just straight up saying, "Well, I love you." And then at the end, Hank's playing with Bobby and fake punching him, and the social worker is trying to say, "I knew he hit him." Personally, unless if you're stupid, which he's from LA, so it's most likely true, you could tell the difference between a play punch and a real punch. You can even tell the difference between a fake punch in a movie and the real punch. Seeing, like, but yeah, that's pretty much it for this. Like, comment, share, subscribe, turn on notifications. Peace.